Hi, hello and welcome back to F1 Challenge VB. My name is Mephisto and our epic journey through the history of Formula 1 continues today with the second round of the 1955 season, the Monaco Grand Prix. It was held on the 22nd of May, it had 23 entries, 20 of them took part in the race and there were 11 retirements. The race consisted of 100 laps, completed in 2 hours, 58 minutes and 9 seconds. Juan Manuel Fangio started the race from pole with Ascari in second, Moss third, Castellotti fourth and E.R.A started from fifth. Trintignant managed to win the Monaco Grand Prix from Eugenio Castellotti, who finished in second, 20.2 seconds later. E.R.A gave his car to Cesare Perdisa, who finished in third. He was 1 lap down. Nino Farina crossed the line in fourth, he was also 1 lap down. And rounding off the top 5 was Luigi Villoresi, who was also 1 lap down. The fastest time of the race was posted by Juan Manuel Fangio, and it was a 1 minute 42.4 second lap. So, after a long 4-year absence, we are back in Monaco, and the lap starts off with a very quick sprint into turn 1, a tight right-hand hairpin. Next we have turn 2, San Devot, an open right-hander which is much faster than its modern day counterpart. Next we climb up into Massenet and Casino Square. Pay attention when coming out of Casino, as there is a horrible bump right on the corner exit. From here we go downhill into Mirabeau and eventually into Station Hairpin, known today as the lowest hairpin. Coming up next is Portier. Careful on the exit, as this part of the circuit tends to be quite slippery. Then we go into the tunnel and come out just before the Chicane du Port. A quick dab on the accelerator up into Tabac, a pretty tight left-hander that brings us around and onto the main straight, and that is a lap around the famous Monaco circuit. And here we are in Monaco, coming around to post our first qualifying lap, a 1 minute 40.8. Not a very good lap, but it's only 4 seconds off Umberto Maglioli's pace, so hopefully we can post a better time. Unfortunately it wasn't so. This is a 1:39.7 and unfortunately I couldn't improve this time because shortly after this the rain started to fall and, well, the track times started slowing down, so I didn't really have the ability to improve. And here we have the Monaco Grand Prix winners. Only Farina won in 1950 because we haven't had a Monaco Grand Prix since then. So we have Fangio on pole with Sterling Moss in second, Maurice Trintignant third, Roberto Mieres is fourth, Eugenio Castellotti fifth, E.R.A sixth, followed by Piero Taruffi in 7th, Nino Farina is 8th, Carl Kling is in 9th, Umberto Maglioli 10th, Paul Frere 11th, Cesare Perdisa 12th, Luigi Musso in his Maserati is 13th, Luis Chiron is 14th, Jose Froilan Gonzalez sits in 15th, 16th is held by Luigi Villoresi with Andy Higgs up in 17th, well, down in 17th. Jacques Poyet is 18th, Lance Macklin 19th, 20th is Harry Schell, 21st Mike Hawthorne, Alberto Ascari 22nd, André Simon 23rd, 24th is Eli Bayol, Ken McAlpine 25th, Tony Rolt is 26th, 27th Jose Iglesias, Alberto Uria 28th, 29th Pablo Birger, Jack Brabham 30th, 41st Leslie Moore, and Roy Salvadori is 42nd. And as you can see, quite a few cars are in the bay, and I hope the developers of the mod see this and address that issue. It's kind of odd that the cars would spawn beneath the track, because that's what happened. The cars spawn beneath the track, and that's why, well, about 10% of the field is already out before the race even began. Anyway, I forgot to mention one thing in the last video, and that is that despite this being a 7 race season, the top 5 race results were the ones that counted, because, well, originally this was supposed to be an 11 round season, so they decided to keep the original plan. Anyway, here is a replay of the start as we come into turn 1, the hairpin called gasometra even. My French is not all that good. But it was quite a slow start on my end, but the field is quite packed together, so I was trying to be careful. And here is Roy Salvadori in the number 30 Lancia, goes a bit too tight, crashes into that building and loses his front right wheel. Next we have Juan Manuel Fangio in the number 2 Mercedes, who gets stuck on something. His car gets thrown up into the air, loses his front wheel, and he's out of the Monaco Grand Prix. Next we have Piero Taruffi in his number 48 Ferrari 555. He hits the something and flips the car over and is out of the Grand Prix as well. This is Tony Rolt in his car, who crashes into something, and unfortunately the camera is positioned in a weird place and we cannot see what actually happened. Next we have Alberto Ascari in the number 26 Lancia, who gets stuck on something. His car is thrown into the air and he is out of the race. Next we have Maurice Trintignant in his Ferrari 625, comes very quickly into the Chicane du Port and gets launched into the bay. So is Nino Farina in the number 42 Ferrari. This is Sterling Moss in the number 6 Mercedes, who's also thrown into the bay. Next is Roberto Mieres, who is also thrown into the bay. This is Jack Brabham in the Cooper, who also ends up in the bay. Malioli in the Ferrari 555 almost gets thrown into the bay. However, he was saved by the hay bales. This is André Simon in the Mercedes, ending up in the bay as well. And finally we have Jean Berra, who also ends up in the bay. So instead of only having Ascari, who crashes into the sea there, pretty much half of the field is in the water at this point. So not a very good first lap. And if you thought that was the end of the retirements, you are sorely mistaken, my friends, because here we have Alberto Uria, who loses control of his car coming out of the tunnel. Not sure why, but he eventually decided to retire. This is Paul Frere, who also loses control of the car and goes over that ledge and into the water. Following is Harry Schell, who does the exact same thing. And we also have Lance Macklin, who ends up in the same situation, although he's a bit more fortunate and doesn't fall into the water, although he does retire from the race. This is Luigi Musso in his Maserati, ending up in the water as well. That was a nice jump, by the way. This is Jose Froilan Gonzalez in the blue Ferrari, numbered 12. Cesare Perdisa also ends up in the water, followed by Luigi Villoresi in the Lancia. Next is fellow Van Wall driver Mike Hawthorne. This is Louis Chiron. Luckily he is from Monaco, so he doesn't have to go far to get some warm clothes, and that was Carl Klink, who ended up in the bay. And we've just started lap 3. Yep, that all that happened on the first 2 laps of the race, so well done AI, I guess, as Elie Bayol managed to overtake us. Unfortunately, he didn't last for long, as by the end of lap 3 he also retires from the race, as we are just about to start lap 4. And here is a replay of Elie Bayol doing kind of the same thing that pretty much everyone else did. So that's 30 retirements in 3 laps. That means, well, that would average 10 retirements per lap, which is quite interesting. The only 2 people left in the race are myself, Andy Higgs, and Jacques Poyet, who is in 4th behind us. On lap 14 I managed to lap him because he lost control of his car, but he stays in the race until the very end. So yeah. And here we are on lap 34, coming around to finish the race and take the win at the Monaco Grand Prix. Our first victory at the Monaco Grand Prix, by the way. Jacques Poyet will finish in second, obviously 1 lap down. Andy manages to also post the fastest lap of the race, but well, there wasn't much of a challenge because pretty much everyone retired pretty quickly. So yeah. And here is the very long list of retirements. I really don't know what to say, to be honest. I didn't expect this. Let's just say that. I didn't expect this. And here is the second page of retirements. Well, 30 people retired, so that's most everyone. I wasn't expecting a very good race from the AI, but I wasn't expecting such a bad race either, so I'm not really sure what to say about that, and I have no idea why I went so wide there, but anyway. Here are the career statistics, and this was Andy's 44th Grand Prix. His best start is from first, has 3 pole positions, has posted 9 fastest laps, his best finish is first, has completed 28 races, 26 of them in the points, has won 16 Grand Prix, 2 of them at the Indianapolis 500 and 1 at the Monaco Grand Prix finally, has 3 championships under his belt, has amassed a total of 174 points, has retired 16 times, has experienced 912 out of 1,204 laps, has 5 bronze trophies, 2 silver trophies, 16 gold trophies, and as an extension 16 podiums. And here is a quick look at the championship standings. Andy is in the lead of the championship and in a very commanding position at the moment. He has 11 points over second place Malioli and Poyet, who share the spot with 6 points, and Farina would be third with his single point. And as you can see, the list of drivers has expanded a bit because there have been a few additions this time around, with Lance Macklin, André Simon, Roy Salvadori, Tony Rolt, Ken McAlpine, and Leslie Marr, who decided to race this time around. I don't know if all of them will be in the next race. I know Ascari won't be because, well, he died shortly after the Monaco Grand Prix, unfortunately, as I talked about that in the previous video, so if you want to know more, you can check that one out. But anyway, that is it for this video for the Monaco Grand Prix from me. That was quite interesting. Didn't expect 2 races in a row to only have 2 finishers, but I guess it could happen anytime. But anyway, don't forget to vote for next season's team, link is in the description. I also have a second channel now where I will be playing different sorts of games. Right now I'm doing a playthrough of the original Need for Speed Underground, so if you're interested in that, there's a link in the description to that as well. Other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, thank you all so much for watching, and as always, stay sharp.